Hello everybody, this is Dandy Dragon bringing another team game video. This one is being played by a community member, Karkinos of the Raiders, and myself. And this one we are playing against a Delhi player or the Dragon, while we ourselves are playing as French and Abbasid. Obviously, I'm gonna do my normal thing, going out and getting sheep. I can't believe I missed that one. I thought I picked it up when it ran past. I guess it didn't now that I look back at it, but hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. No problemo. What? Oh, looks like it was. I guess it went into the rock there a bit. Over here, we see the Delhi is going for some early sheep. Pretty common. You want to get on sheep, go out and get as much food as possible before. Oh, sorry, I had a message. Now, looking over here. Yep, getting on gold early. A bit more bills on gold than I would have expected, though I don't play with the Dragon that much, so I can't really harp on the build order for it to any large extent. I do see the that they are on that. Orange did try to come up and steal the sheep from my end of the map, but due to my 2 scout nature, I was able to get all the sheep over here and deny him getting those backline sheep up over here. Which, you know what? I'll take the victory. All the while, I'm doing my normal thing, going around the backline, getting their sheep, just kind of starving them out. Though I did make the mistake of not coming through here and grabbing those earlier with my other scouts. That is a mistake on my end. You know what? It does happen. Over here, we are seeing that they are continuing to just do their basics. Karkinos does go up and go around, similar to the Delhi. Abbasid also don't need to really get on sheep very quickly, so they can afford to run up and steal sheep. Now, for those who are unaware, the Delhi is very well known for their Ghazi Raiders, a horseman with a bonus to heavy, and I believe they're slightly more expensive with slightly better overall stats, which makes them very good at raiding, while Or the Dragon gets gilded units, which are just good at killing everything, as they're basically 2 units in 1. Through all the testing I've ever done with their units, their wood units, like horsemen and spearmen, will lose 2 to 1, or just come out with like 1 hit away from winning one way or the other. And then their gold units will win, but in the opposite way, where it's very close, but they usually come out on top on average. So generally speaking, very much as Order the Dragon, you want to be trying to make gold units if possible, as they are much more efficient. Now, I like to do a double scout opening with 6 vills to 5 on School of Cavalry. I like to go 6 when I feel like I need the night out right away. This was misclicked by me. Don't mind the fact that I really messed up. I was shift clicking my scout, and I didn't realize I clicked my TC. It is a mistake, and do not copy that mistake. I beg of you. Karkinos getting an amazing haul of 13 sheep. I do all right on my end. I got I think a total of like 13, 14 when it was all said and done. So just kind of showing you how nice it is to be able to go out and just go get sheep. You don't need to get on sheep right away. You don't have to bring them back. You can just really make those berries be efficient. Now, Karkinos, knowing that I like to be on the sheep for a while, so I can maintain good food gather rate, he does drop it off for me, as he can stay on his own sheep for a little while longer, and then he likes to do a farm transition, I believe. And I do, as a joke, give him a sheep. I bought it off of him. You know what? 1 sheep for like 13. I think that's a fair trade. You know, that's the sort of deals I like to make. Now, could I have garrisoned here? I very well could have and killed off the scout. I don't feel it's worth the amount of resources I would lose. Just that's just a personal preference. Some people, if you're playing in FFAs or team game, like big team games, if you can kill a scout, especially early on, before they can gather a lot of sheep, or when they have a lot of sheep on them already, you can get a lot of value that way, due to the fact that they're not going to be able to look for sheep if you get them prior. But at this point, all the sheep have been grabbed. I'd rather just have the resources. It's a personal thing. Some people have the bloodthirst. They want to kill them all. They want to get rid of the opponent's scouts. Obviously, I'm going to do French thing. Karkinos will do Karkinos things. I believe he is booming for his second TC right now, while I'm going to go do my standard dandy harass. And cue the charge. We're going to go for the impale. And too late to run away. That is what makes French Knights so good, is that if they get that charge off, that Vil is good as good as gone. Don't know why I shift clicked that wolf. I guess I did. You know what? Decisions were made there. It's okay. And now one of the nice things with this is now my opponent is forced to sheep, which means that later on he will have to go back out to the berries. And because we got so many sheep on our side of the map, you can notice that they almost have none. They are forced to the berries, which as a French player gives me a lot of a free real estate, as it were. I can kind of just bounce between the two. You can see I get a knight over here, I get a knight over here. I got that one going there, and when that attack is done, I'm going to get on over here. Sadly, I'm a little slow. I should have been a little bit faster on the draw, so to speak, and I probably could have got that Vil. And getting a Vil on Or the Dragon is very good. If you can get Or the Dragon Vil kills, that's insane. That is what you want to be doing. And now we do see my opponent is getting spears, but he's not getting them where he needs them, which is right now on his wood line. This is going to allow me to get another kill right over here. And I do notice that my charge gets all janked up there, so I go for the other one. Make sure I get my targeting done right. Once again, just kind of getting out of the way. And I'm going to look for some Vils to hit elsewhere. I noticed that they weren't on the berries anymore. I didn't want to go for the wood line, just because if they have a bunch of Vils over here that they can garrison and they pull back in time, then that's not going to be an efficient attack with just one. So I want to get two together like that, and you can see I go for the hit, and getting those kills on the Or the Dragon, great payoff. Now it does suck that the path thing on the knights kept me from getting the second Vil there. Getting two Vils on one charge, you gotta love it. But can't get them all. Meanwhile, Karkinos is over here getting his got a second TC. I believe he actually goes for a third due to the amount of harass I was able to get off, which is going to just allow a lot of push in there. Now, during this time, I'm going to go ahead and get some spears on my own base, due to the fact that I know Ghazi Raiders could be coming out. Not realizing my opponent doesn't actually go double stables, which is the common pick in this sort of situation. So going around here, I notice he doesn't micro his spears, so I can kind of go off and get rid of two of them and get my Vil kill. Oh, I do pull back. That was right. But the knights over there can do some work. I am going to get chivalry, so all these knights are going to get healed, so I don't mind the damage. There's an easy Vil picked right there, trying to build the wall. And this is where all this sort of harass gets to be really efficient, that your opponent just can't be everywhere at once. Meanwhile, I can be. I am limited to my micro, which for those who don't know me, is very limited actually. I'm not a very quick player. Now, having at this point, we can see the kills here, going to military score. Two of those were Spearmen. So getting 5 ill kills at this point in the game, one of which is Or the Dragon, solid. That's, you might as well include that to be actually 8 in terms of the quality of the vills being taken out. Now, seeing that he's on farms and that he is off these berries, I assume he's on the berries over here, or the deer, which luck would pay off that he was. I'm continuing to check here for berries there. I guess he's just decided it's worth the idle time on his vills. And I think that's a bad decision on his part. Sadly, didn't micro that efficiently. I could have got 1 more vill there, maybe 2, if I had done individual targets. And that's a big mistake. That's the sort of things that'll really throw games. Now, we do see they go for trade. I see the market. I thought he was just trying to use that to buy food due to the fact that he had to go into early farms. I did not realize that he had traders at this point. I kind of just missed it there. And I don't even think I can see it, because if I go to my site, I could have. Yeah, if I had gotten the view on that, that would have been good. If I take that out there, he loses a bunch of resources in terms of value. Now, my knights with that chivalry are pretty much healed up. I can continue just running around getting vill kills. Now, we do see the opponents have started going in for... Once again, I don't know what is with the knights since the update, but their charge targeting have been very weird. I had right-clicked the vill to hit it, and that should have gone for a charge. Sadly, when I was microing that, I did lose a knight. I am going to pull my military back, as I see that's a pure archer blob, and I don't want to throw my military away needlessly, as knights don't fight well. He is continuing to chase me, and I didn't realize it, so I do take a hit there that I shouldn't have. And he will pull back, though, as he sees the archers, and I do have the number advantage enough to the point that I can hold that fight. But they are going to gather their forces together here in a bit to try to push me back. Luckily, they see the archer blob come from Karkinos, and that spear blob can't really do much against all that. Now, the Ghazi Raiders could do some work, but they are actually injured from the earlier fight with my knights. And this is where A-moving is really important. He could have very easily took out a lot of those units if he had just done the proper targeting sooner. And honestly, we should have worked together to chase down that blob, and we probably could have finished it off and really saved ourselves a lot of future trouble. When you see an opportunity like that, that is something that should really be taken advantage of, because units can't run away from knights, except for horsemen and units like Mengidai and the like, especially when backed up by Khan. So I do see this, so I'm going to pull back. I do call for Karkinos, but he wants to get a blob together to really take down that in one go. We didn't want to leave any survivors, not realizing that they had pulled everything for this push. So here in a moment, he is going to be moving over. Meanwhile, my knights are all going to congregate back up on my base, as I really don't want to lose anything, obviously. Now, luckily, they don't go for raids here. If you are pushing like this, you would want to get, like, maybe a minute-arm over here, minute-arm or 2 over there, Ghazi Raiders over there, and just get the main blob to fight mine. And even if you don't win the fight, you can do a lot of eco damage. They do not do this, and they even pull back a little bit, which is kind of silly in my opinion. They should have done this fight a lot sooner. Karkinos said he was almost at the base, so I went ahead and took the fight, not realizing he was so far away. So at this point, I should have pulled my knights back and sacrificed the archers and gone for cycle charges. That would have been the best method. I'm going to pull back a little bit. I'm going to send these spearmen to head off any of the reinforcements. And this is just going to kind of go our way from here. You can see that their blob is almost gone. And we can kind of just one-shot, two-shot, like, just the blob in general. So just a lot of garrison vills. I'll throw away my army. And I will take very limited damage here. So all of those resources they spend on military isn't going to amount to much, as they They get one there just because it allows a micro, and that's about it. I am going to pull my knights away. I don't want to lose them. And sadly, those men-at-arms are taking some of those hits, which is really stopping me from letting the TC kill the overall majority of the units. But now with only gilded men-at-arms left, basically, right there, my knights are going to be able to make quick work of that. Archer Blob has won that. And they threw away everything they had for that push, which, with Karkinos on double TC, right there. Did he go for the triple TC? No, I guess he didn't get it going. I think he stopped to focus on the Archer Blob and the harass, which he could go for a second TC on this, by the way, 100%. And with that, he could be probably, with consistent Vil production, he could already have maxed out his Vils, but at this point, we both knew that with that fight having gone our way and him not having lost his military, he can very easily get a bunch of kills there, or at least keep green in his base permanently. Meanwhile, making sure that I don't fall behind in case our opponents have boon behind that, I decided to go for stones since I have all that wood, and I'd rather get a second TC and make sure that we don't fall behind. Now the opponents see that the Karkinos is hitting or the dragon here, so they are going to pull everything to kind of stop this crossbow archer blob, which honestly that's good for us because that's going to allow me to run my knights in, my last of my reinforcements there, and I'm going to be able to just get free reign over his base. If he had left like 4 or 5 spearmen over here, that would have been a fight I would have to micro. Instead, I'm just going to be free to just get on the Vils. The unit kill counter is just going to keep on rising. Now, Or the Dragon does get a lot of kills there due to the fact that he is just kind of mowing down lots of archers. And he did mow down my army earlier because the spears did not do much when they attack my base. Spears are not great for attacking a base unassisted. Usually you want to at least get some horsemen mixed in because they can take up that archer fire a lot better. And obviously I'm doing the normal dandy things. I'm on the prowl looking for Vils. I noticed that there wasn't even a lot over here, but I will take what picks I can get. Of course, you know me. Meanwhile, Karkinos is just continuing to just lay pressure on them. He knows he's not winning the fights. He knows he's not killing them. But what he is doing is just keeping them over here. Orange not having that over here sooner is going to, like, just allow me to get free reign just around this base. And while I don't see any of their Vils, I'm going to send these guys over here to check to see if there's any Vils on golds or berries, or if there's just, you know, anything that they could have been doing over here. I didn't see anything, and I don't know why there's one berry in that whole blob. Like that's very strange to me. I don't know if that's an error of some kind. Now, Karkinos lets me know at this point that his push is just kind of gone. And that's not to say he couldn't continue it. It's just he doesn't have the mass. So at this point, I start to regather, and we're making our plan there, which is for me to just kind of get the knights going around, and just to have this force ready to hit orange as soon as we see orange reacting somewhere. Yeah, see, if he had all those units plus that earlier, he would 100% be making my life a living hell. Or would have. Now, Karkinos obviously able to age up here. He can go Imperial. It's a large advantage. Now, this was a micro error on my end. I wanted to get those Vils, and I was not paying attention to the Ghazi Raiders, which, you know, that's not what you want to be doing. But honestly, if it gets you that many Vil kills, take it. I will eventually take this fight, and I will win it because I do have spears mixed into that as well. If it was just the archers and the horsemen, or the knights, probably not. And obviously the spears and the archers can deal with those spears. So I'm kind of free to do whatever work I want to do. I see the trade, I'm going to get on that. I see the Vills, I'm going to get on them. And at this point, Orange just doesn't have an economy. That's like, cue the womp 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 music here. He's down to only 10 Vills. When you're just getting the sort of pressure on you, there's not a lot you can do. Even 42 for War the Dragon is not a large amount by this point in the game. Now, is it still a decent amount? Yeah, like that'll pass mustard to a certain degree. But at this point, there's not much you can do. I can just dive under TC at this point with that amount of knights and just take out everything here. So that's going to be a GG on his economy. And even on his military. Like, I can just run past now. I don't lose, like, barely anything if they even do get those knights right there. Yeah, he gets the one knight. And once this push happens over here, that was just it for green. He gives up, and so does Delhi. Good job for Karkinos, just able to save my butt after all that early harass, meaning I didn't have a large enough economy to hold the 2v1, and then just keeping green busy while I could just go around and take out Vills. Delhi players sadly couldn't do much, but that's how team games can really go. A lot of people try to get a little bit greedy in team games, and when they do, they can get really punished by some good harass. But hey, sometimes that's just how it goes. Well, thank you all for joining me today, and I hope you continue to join us for all these AoE videos.